Today I'm going to show you how we can make beautiful braids like these, which are called cornrows, fully braiding Barbie's hair. 10 braids in her hair. The equipment we're going to need for this is a little hairbrush for Barbie, elastics for tying the braids down, and some clips to keep her hair out of the way while we're working. Okay, so we've wet Barbie's hair and we're going to brush it. Make sure she's sitting nicely, and we're going to brush her hair all around just to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And then, because I want 10 braids, I'm going to divide this roughly in half, and then this will be 5 sections on this side. I'm going to take off some for the top braid right here, and that would leave 4 braids on this side. So all of this hair we don't need yet. We'll just keep it out of the way. And also this section, we'll clip it so it's also out of the way. Just move her over a little bit so we can see better. Now we need 4 braids from this section, and we'll do 2 above. So we'll take off this section, see if it's more or less even. It's not that important that they're all exactly the same size, but as close to even as we can make it, the better. Keep that hair out of the way. Now we want 2 sections from this piece. We'll divide it again, and this one we can just stick under that clip. And now we'll start our first braid, and that would be right here. Get it nice and smooth, and then we'll divide it into 3 equal parts, and then we'll just make a braid, crossing them over as we go. Now I'm at the end of that first braid, so I'm just going to take the elastic and tie it off. Okay, now we're ready for the second braid. We're dividing it into 3 equal parts, and then we just start braiding. And we keep braiding all the way down. And you can see the strands don't always come out the same length. There's always going to be one strand that's shorter than the rest or has shorter ends in it, like this one, and that means we'll cross over, and then it will be time to stop and put the elastic on. Now we can also double the elastic up before we put it on. It just make it a little bit easier, whatever works better for you. And there we go. That's the second braid. Now it's time to do these ones. Now this one, yeah, would go right here, but I think maybe we'll make 2 out of this one. This one will be a pretty skinny one, but we'll loop it in with that one. And we want to try and get the forehead hair nice here because you can see it from the front. So again, we'll divide it into 3 equal strands and start braiding, making sure we've got all the loose ends in there. And you can also, before you start braiding, you can adjust the angle of the braid if you want it a little more on her forehead or off her forehead. Time to tie it up with the elastic. Okay, now we're going to get ready to do these last two on this side. Let me just see where the part was. This is the side for the other 5, so we'll keep those clipped off. And we need 2 more braids from this section up here, so we're just going to brush all the hair so it's nice and even. We don't want to lose any of the strands. They do like to jump away. I'm going to divide this in half. It's easier if you give it a twist. And now we're going to comb this out and up. And again, this is going to be a forehead, a braid that you're going to see on her forehead. So we want to make sure it's at a good angle that'll look pretty. And now we divide our 3 strands. Would really help if I had a clamp to hold her down, but I don't, so we just make do with what we've got. So I'm just going to keep going, and then we need to put the elastic on. You can see how it's coming along, and you can also see how it's going to look. Okay, we've got one last braid on this side of the head. We're going to use this hair to do it. So I'm going to just section this off and clip it to keep it out of the way while we're working. Make sure we have all the strands that we want. And her hair is drying out pretty quickly, so you can always work with some water nearby, and you can either spray it from a spray bottle or just stick her head under the tap. That's the way I did it. And we're going to braid this one. Now, as you can see, the braid strands did not turn out quite as even as I wanted them. This one is much, much skinnier, but I don't think it's a problem. It's still going to look really cute when we're done. And we just keep going all the way down until one of the strands becomes too short to continue. Not yet. Just going to go a little bit more. If you have smaller fingers than I've got, it'll be easier for you. And we're going to double this at last. So we just finished this last little skinny one. And now you can see how it's coming along. We've got the 5 of them done here on this side. And now we're going to start doing the same thing on this side. So we're first going to take out the clip. We're going to give it a good brush. And then we're going to divide off the top piece for the top braid. It'll go in this clip, and then we have 4 more from here, and it would be best to do it dividing the bottom half from the top half. And we'll put this whole top piece together and out of the way, and that leaves 2 braids from this section. So we'll divide it in half and twist this off and clip it. And now we're going to braid this section. So first we're going to give it a good brush so it's nice and smooth. And it's always best to start these braids like I'm doing from the bottom closer to her neck and shoulders, and then just do the other ones above it after. So we're just going to turn her on the side. Maybe you'll see it a bit better. Doesn't really matter what position you're holding her in. Just keep braiding. These little braids do take a lot longer than a big braid. Keep braiding. Keep braiding all the way down. Don't want to miss any more strands. I'm going to keep going. Oops. It's fine. No problem. Let's get it all together in there. And when we get to the end, I'm going to just tie it off. And there, we've got our first strand on this side. So now what we need to do is get her to give us the rest of the hair there. Whoop. And from this now, we're going to make 4 braids. So we're going to, again, section off what belongs for our very top braid. Maybe want it to be a little bit skinnier to match the other one on the other side. So that goes there. And then we've got 3 more braids from this section. And I think I'll make 1 over here. And then that will leave 2 more for over here. So that braid's going to go in the front. This one's going to go over here. So we're going to want to clip the hair we're not using. Just make sure it's even. This one is a little bit thicker, but I think it's close enough. Then we're going to brush this section out and divide it into 3. And then we can start our braid. And here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Let's just see how that goes. And here we go with this one. So it's just the same as all the others. We keep braiding until we get near the bottom. And then we will tie it off with the elastic. I do want to be careful when you do this elastic that you don't pinch the end up a little too much, or it might stick out at a funny angle. Would be easier with slightly smaller elastics, but I just recombed her a little bit. I've got my last 2 braids, or the 2 strands for the last 2 braids sectioned off. This is going to be a bigger braid in the back, so I need to get my 3 braiding strands, and then we'll get started. We want to make sure that all of the strands are braided in, because I don't like having any stray hairs. When I do my own hair, it tickles when you've got stray hairs and it looks so messy. We don't want it looking messy. She's just cooperating there by lying face down for us. And that's about as far as I'm going to be able to go with that one. Okay, now we can see this one's sticking out quite a bit, but not to worry, we can always wet it and push them back into place. So we've got only our last braid left. Her hair's almost dry by now, but I just don't feel like getting up to wet it again, but that's not a problem. It's wet enough. There's no static in it. And I'm just going to try and decide what angle I want to braid it at. You see, I can braid it going backwards. I can braid it coming down the side, and I think I'll do that better because it matches the one on the other side. So we'll comb it out in the direction that I want the braid to sit, which is this way. And then I'm going to divide my 3 strands. And because this is a front one, I want to be a little bit more careful that it's all clean and tidy, no extra hairs floating around. Because the back ones, you can maybe get away with it if the other braids are hiding it. But this one is going to be very visible. So the last one is tied off, and there she is, all done and looking gorgeous. What a beautiful hairstyle. And like I said, you can wiggle them around. This one actually is a little bit thicker than it should have been. And you can see, you can divide the strands any way you like, and then you can place them in whatever position you want. And I can just flatten these down. If one of them is bending out the wrong way, I just bend it back. It's very flexible, and especially while it's wet, it will then dry in the position I want. So if some of them are standing out a little bit too much, just put that one closer into her head so she can wear some of them in the front, to the side, and that's how you do it.